Conversations. I am your host, Melanie Mack, and I am so delighted that today I have in studio with me the founder of Facial Bungalow and Spa Lida, Trina Renee. Thank you for being here, Trina. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we're going to get all into her business, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking to Trina, excuse me. I can't talk today. We're going to be talking to Trina about how she began her career, and she has such an interesting background. She was actually singing in a punk band called Lowball back in the day and did a world tour, had much success with Interscope Records in the early 2000s. After that world tour and post 9/11, she did a post 9/11 USO tour in the Middle East with the band, and then they decided to go their separate ways. In 2004, Trina started a new chapter in her life. She became an esthetician and opened her own spa. Now, how do you go from lead singer of a punk band to esthetician? She's going to share all of that with us. Coming from the world of music and entertainment, she understands the importance of maintaining beautiful skin. She is passionate about the world of skincare and enjoys helping her clients gain knowledge on a perfect home care regimen. Trina has been working in the field of health and beauty for over 15 years. In addition to being owner of the Facial Bungalow, Trina also worked for 8 years with the Rappaport Dermatology Group in Beverly Hills. Trina has extensive training and specializes in acne and anti-aging procedures. Ooh, anti-aging, I love that. Using the top medical grade peels, microdermabrasion. I tried that once before and oh my gosh, just burned my skin. It was a home. We won't talk about that. Yeah. I tried to do it myself, one of those DIY things, and it was horrible. And her special machine to help with tightening and plumping for a flawless finish. The only one of its kind in the U.S. That is outstanding. Trina consistently attends medical seminars, scientific skincare conferences, and is a member of the Society of Cosmetic Chemistry. I want to welcome her again. Thank you so much for being here, Trina.
Thank you.
So tell me about Lowball. Let's talk about that first.
Okay.
So
we're going way back.
Yeah, we're going way back. So how did you, had you always been interested in music? And
Yes, that was definitely my first passion. I came to Los Angeles to be a singer, like everybody comes to LA to be an actor or
yes,
musician. So it was definitely what I came here to do. And so I feel like I succeeded in that.
Absolutely. World tour?
Yeah, I got to experience it. It was 2 short years, but it was a success to me. I got to sign autographs and tour and do all of the things that you do when you're, in a famous band. But I realized that it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. It wasn't all that I expected it to be. And I really
What does that mean? What's the underlying?
Well, I mean, I don't know about being a musician, but being the lead of a band is a lot of work because you have to go to every interview, you have to go to every party, you have to schmooze, you have to go to every meeting.
I see.
You're the one that's the face, so it's even when you're off, you're on all the time. So for that 2 years, I never got a break. It was a lot of hard work. I was like, wow, I can't even imagine it getting beyond this to another level.
Yes.
Now I know why people do drugs and do bad things in this business. But, it's a lot of pressure. So it was great. And I'm so glad I got to experience it. But I was like so happy when that band ended to go, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do something else. So,
and that, my background is in television, and I did television development for many years, working for all of the studios. So I know the grind of that on being behind the scenes, and I know just the challenges and the enormous pressure that's put on, like you said, you were the face of this incredible band, and you're doing a world tour, and how do you have a life? I mean, I didn't have a life working 80 hours a week as an executive.
Well, we would come home from tour and we would have to go in the studio and record, and then we'd have to do the Viper Room or the Whiskey or something at night.
Oh my gosh!
And then
yes.
I would have to go do an interview or go meet with the record label, or our A&R guy was at a party and I had to go schmooze and be there, or I had to be, in the studio recording not just my vocals, but I had to be there to do vocals for the guitarist when she recorded her parts, and the drummer when she recorded, like everybody's parts. So I was always somewhere in the band,
Yes.
I was never off.
Okay, so you decided that you wanted to do something else. How did you make that leap to becoming an esthetician? I mean,
it's weird.
What's the connection?
When you spend your whole life deciding that you're going to do one thing, like I'm going to be a singer in a band, that's what my life goal was. You don't really, everything that you do in job wise is like, because you can be a waitress because you have to be a waitress because you have to get an audition, or you have to be flexible, so any job you had, it was never for anything but to push you forward in whatever career you decided to do. So when you make that decision to get out of that, it's like, what am I going to do with my life? I've only ever wanted to be a singer. Like,
right.
I'm not going to be a waitress for the rest of my life, So I was like, what am I going to do? So you start thinking of yourself in other jobs. And you're like, when you meet with friends, you're like, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm an executive at Disney. Oh, could I be an executive at Disney? And you start living through it,
Yes.
I used to daydream. Like, what would that be like? And I'd picture myself in the position, and then how far it would go, and then how bored I would get. And then I'd be like, no, that's not for me. And I just went through so much of that for like, I don't know, it felt like a year at least, where I put myself in every job position that I could, and nothing made sense.
Now, were there moments when you were on stage touring and you were looking out into the audience thinking, these people have some horrible skin? I mean, was there ever a moment where you thought, no?
No, but so before I moved to LA to be a singer, I happened to be a manicurist.
Wow.
And so my dad, when I was in 11th grade, summer, put me in beauty school to become a manicurist. And I was like, what am I doing here? You're a teenager, so you don't.
Yes.
My friends are all at the beach, and I'm like in manicure school. So that was weird. And then I got a license, and then he took me somewhere and I got a job. And so in 12th grade, after school, I would go and do acrylics and, nails.
Yes.
That was my job. But I did it really, really well. So I started working in spas, and I did that for 6 years. 6 or 8, I can't remember. And so when I moved to LA, I was working at a spa in Beverly Hills called Umberto's.
Okay.
And they had a men's salon at that time. So I did men's manicures and pedicures, like executives and lawyers
very
and,
nice.
Agents and things. So I was kind of familiar with the spa industry a little bit. And I worked at a couple front desks as a receptionist in a spa. So it wasn't totally foreign to me.
Okay.
But I never thought I'd be an esthetician, not in a million years. But from going from punk rock, and it's a very like grindy, loud, active place, rock and roll. I just was like, oh my God, I just wanted peace and quiet. And this is embarrassing, but I was picking at my husband's face one day. He would kill me if I said that. I was picking at his face. And he was like, you should do this for a living. You love to do that so much. And I was like, I never thought of that. I wonder what that would be like, So I went down to one of the schools, and I walked into the aesthetics program area.
Yes.
And all these women were in these white coats, and it was really dim and quiet, and there was soft music playing, and I was like, oh my God, this is so nice. Like that peace.
So antithetical to what you had been doing.
And I walked in there with
quiet.
punk rock clothes on, and my hair is black and pink and pigtails, and I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to go from punk rock to esthetician, but that life looked so peaceful, and I
Yes.
could picture myself in it, and I don't know, it just drew me in. And so I went to school for it, and I found that I have a huge passion for it. I don't know why, but I love it so much. And so it just like captured me, and I just I wanted to know everything about it, and I was really good at it, and I understood it,
Yes.
and I just was, I don't know, it was great. So it's been great for me for 13, 14 years. Like, I'm really
is
knowledgeable,
wonderful.
and and I always study, and I never stop, and I train other estheticians. I coach other estheticians. All the people in my class used to say, you should be the teacher, because I kind of took over with that role. But I was, it's just like something, I don't know, I'm good at it. So
Yeah. Own it.
that's what happened there.
Well, she does own it, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I had big goals for Facial Bungalow, but that changed one day because I had a kid.
Talk about it. Listen, I shared with you I was working 80 hours a week and, got married, had my first son, and, that whole saying that you can have it all. I remember Oprah years ago said you can have it all, but not at the same time. And so
Yeah.
you have to sacrifice something. And so I chose to sacrifice my career. I could not do both. But
Yeah.
so what was it like for you?
I mean, yeah, it was heavy time because you have this child that comes into your life, and you're like, oh my God, your whole perspective changes. And all of a
Yes,
sudden,
indeed.
what you thought was important isn't important anymore because this child is so important,
Yes.
And so then I'm thinking of her future and our future together. And I started realizing that in order for me to be able to support her and to be able to do things with her and have money to travel and all that, it's like, if I'm not in the room doing a facial, I'm not making money. And so if I want to go on vacation, I'm not making money. If I decide to do a less day of work, I'm not making money.
Yes.
It's like I have to be there to make money. So I don't have a 9-to-5 job where I'm working for a company where I get a 2 weeks paid vacation,
Right.
And if I get hurt, I have no income. So I was like, I have to figure out a way to make money while I'm not there. And so I'm like, how am I going to do that? And that was, and then I started talking to all these moms because all of a sudden I'm a mom and I'm meeting all these other moms.
Of course.
And they're like, what do you do? What do you do? Oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Oh, I'm an esthetician. And they're like, oh, God, I wish I could get a facial, but, you can't do anything with a kid.
Right.
You can't even take a bath, And I'm like, that's not fair. Like, that is not okay. Moms need it the most.
Okay. Yes.
Like, we are the most sleep deprived, emotional, frustrated, at times very angry, because it's like, you love this little person so much. Your husband's out making the money. You're home taking care of this child. And it just gets so overwhelming. And so I'm like, this has got to change. Like,
Yes.
we moms have to be able to take care of ourselves and not feel guilty.
Absolutely. Guilt-free.
Guilt-free, but we all feel the guilt. Like, if we're not doing something for our child, then we feel guilty doing something for ourselves,
Right.
And so
Every mother gets
we
that.
don't, yeah. So we don't do it. We just suffer through. And I remember driving around when my daughter was like a baby, and I was like, I'd drive, up a freeway for as long as it took to get her to sleep.
Yes.
Have you done that?
You on that?
I think every
We're going
mother
for a
does that.
drive.
We're going for a drive because you need to take a nap. And you're driving, and all you can think about is, oh my God, go to sleep. Go to sleep. I'm so tired. I just want to pull over and take a nap. Right?
Yes.
And so there were times when I was like, if I could just have 30 minutes to myself right now.
Uninterrupted.
Yeah, I just want to take a nap. Like, I just want to lay down, or sometimes you just need 30 minutes, and you try and escape and they're banging on the bathroom door or whatever. You can't get away. And sometimes that breaking point in the middle of your day, you're like, I just need 30 minutes. At least
Where's
that's how
my
I
me
felt.
time? I think
So-
that's, if mothers are honest, that's the truth. You're speaking the truth. I know I felt that way, and I know plenty of mothers. Not many will say it publicly,
I know.
but it's the truth. You need time, because if mommy is not well, and if you don't have just time for self-care,
Yeah.
how can you take care of anyone else?
That's the most important part.
You
Is like,
can do it very angrily.
and that's what ends up happening, and then you get upset with yourself because you let it go there. And so I was like, I've got to somebody's got to do it. And so
Sure.
I was like, maybe, I mean, this is how my brain started thinking, like maybe I could hire a babysitter or a nanny to come over to my house for a full day, and I could set up a facial room in my house, and I could do moms, and then my nanny, whoever it is, babysitter, could watch their kid while they get a facial. Like, let's start there. So I called my insurance company. That's not going to work. I could get my house taken away if one of their kids fell down the stairs or something. So I was
Those
like,
little things.
maybe I won't do it in my house. Maybe I'll think of a way to do it on the outside. So, the whole goal for me was not to open a day spa with babysitting on the side. The
Okay.
whole goal for me was to open a place where moms could come for 30 minutes and take a little break in the middle of their day.
I love that.
That was like the whole goal of this place. So I created little rooms with all different kinds of things to do for like $40, or one's even $20. And where you could come in for $40, we'll watch your kid. You don't have to get a babysitter for 3-hour minimum to
Yes.
get away, and you can just drive in the middle of your day, right in that moment where you're like, I'm going to Spally Law. And you go there and you take a half an hour break. And then, we have infrared sauna, we have a bath, we have a nap, we have a massage throne, we have.
So we're wrapping this
facials
conversation early.
I mean, I it just went there, but
I love that.
yeah. And so I just wanted to create these little things that wouldn't be so expensive that you're like, oh, I'm going to go there once a month on my birthday. On my birthday, once a month. Thank God that's not true. Once a month,
But on a
for
special occasion or something.
yeah, or like once a year. I'm going to go there like a couple times a week when I just need in the middle of the day. Like I'm going to put that expense into my budget because I need some me time in order to be a better mom to my kids. And we
Right.
have like super great nannies that are all CPR certified and they're trust line certified. So they're like by the California law.
Yes.
They're I don't know if people know what trust line means, but
Well, explain it.
well, it's so in the state of California, if you want to be a nanny, you're supposed to be trust line certified, which means they background check you and they do all these background checks and fingerprints and all that. But it's like the top of the line for a nanny, and it's mandate by the state of California. But people don't do it, and it's hard for
Okay.
them to come down on every single preschool, daycare, nannies in homes,
Right.
IKEA, whoever has day babysitting, they're all supposed to have it. And so we are trust line certified. All of our nannies, we make
Okay.
sure they're trust line certified. So we have really good nannies. They get on the floor and play with the kids. They don't just sit back and text on their phone while like they do at some of the gyms.
Yes.
They are actually on the floor with the kids, and we have little classes. Every half hour is a different class. So it's a focused play. So we'll do
Okay.
art, or we'll do baby Beethoven, or we'll do baby Picasso, and
Nice.
baby yoga, or we'll have a dance party, or we'll work on homework depending on what part of the day. So it's like a focused kind of program inside there,
So what's
and it's
the
free.
It's free?
It's free. Like, how can you not come?
Oh my
like,
goodness.
I tried to make it
Listeners,
so easy for moms, but still moms feel guilty.
we bow to you.
We've been open for 5 months, and moms come in feeling like they love this idea and they really want to do it, but they feel guilty still. And I want to
Yeah.
break that feeling. Like, it's okay to come and take a half an hour break and go back and be a better mom to your
Yes.
kids and your husband,
Right.
you know? So it's really changing the mindset. And I thought it was going to be so easy because every mom on Facebook and every mom's group is like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. This is brilliant. Let's go."
Yes.
And then, but dragging them in, it's like, come on.
It's okay.
You can do
It's
it.
really okay.
Once they come in, they're like, "Oh my God, that was amazing." Like they're almost in tears. Like, I can't believe this exists. But, we've done a lot of focus groups
Okay.
with moms and to try and figure out what it is that's stopping them from taking that leap to self-care.
Yeah.
While you're in the craziest moment of your life.
I think, and I certainly don't have an answer to this, but just in my own experience, I think it's the judgment from other women, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I know with my firstborn, my first husband and my former sister-in-law, she had a real issue with our having a nanny. It's like, why does Melanie need a nanny? And this is someone that she was in, college,
Right.
and complaining about me having a nanny and just having help. I had a live out, and but it wasn't until maybe a few years ago she has her first child. And guess
realizes
what?
it.
Yeah, she
Why
has a nanny.
you needed a nanny.
She's just like, wow, you need this. It's so important. It's like, really? You're just like,
Yeah, because
you get it.
It's hard being Superwoman.
Yeah.
It's impossible. I mean, and you're right. The guilt from the other moms. That's another thing I see is that I built this place for you to come in when you need a break in the middle of the day personally, so that you don't need to come in with your friends. But I find that a lot of the moms are like, let's go together. Let's go to the spa together. Let's make it a play date. Let's, do this together. And I'm like, when you come in together, it's like you go alone into the rooms. Like you're not going in. It's not a spa where you're hanging out around the jacuzzi together.
Right.
This is a moment for you to take a quiet moment. Like I always tell them, like, go in there and put your phone away and try to spend 25 minutes with nothing. It's really hard to do because in this day and age, if you have kids around, you're either doing kids or you're checking your Facebook or you're cooking.
Very true.
Like to sit in silence in a bath for 25 minutes seems like forever.
Oh, that's heaven.
It sounds like heaven, but when you're in there, you're like, oh my God, what time is it? Oh. Like it takes, you think of it, but then when you finally relax, you're like, oh my God, that was heaven. When you finally actually, or if you sit in an infrared sauna for 25 minutes, you're like, I need a magazine. I need to be looking at something. People are in their on their emails.
It's
I'm like,
difficult for people to unplug.
it's so hard unless you're laying on the table and you're forced to because someone's giving you a facial or a massage and
Right.
you can't. But, that's physical contact with somebody else where when you're alone with nothing and you're not sleeping, it's hard to settle the mind and to not do
Yes.
anything. But moms need it so bad, and dads need it too.
Yes.
It's for every parent, But I find that they do want to come together. But it's okay because we have lounge time,
Okay.
which means you can come in with your friend and hang out for a half an hour and have a beverage and chit chat
Oh,
while your
nice.
kids are being watched and then go in for your 25-minute treatment. So we give them an hour of free babysitting time.
Okay.
So they can come if they want with a friend and chill for a little while and then go off to their treatments, if they
Okay.
want. But it's really, I built it for you to come in when you're in a moment of need on your own.
I love this idea. I can't tell you how much. I know our listeners are, I know the women are just shouting, like, where can we find this place? And we're going to get into where you can find Spali La. I wanted to ask you about, you said it's, walk us through the process of, so when you walk through the front door, I'm a mom, I need a moment, and I'm coming in with my child. Is there an age range with the children, and how does that work? So I come in with my, let's say I'm coming in with my 5-year-old.
Yes.
And so what happens when I come through the door?
So we have ages 6 months to 9 years. And we
Okay.
always have two nannies around on staff. So if we know that we have more than three babies or six children, we will bring in the second nanny, who's kind of like the spa assistant.
Okay.
And so it's 6 months to 9 years in the playroom, and we have a baby gate set up for. So if we have babies in there, non-walkers, they're on one
Okay.
side, and then we have the other kids on the other side. And we don't have a lot of like bouncy, jumpy play things in there because we want everything. It's a spa, and you're going there to, the mother is going, or dad is going there to relax, and they don't want to come out and have a very hyper child coming out of the playroom. So everything we do in there is like drawing, yoga. We do have dance hour, but it's later in the afternoon.
Okay.
But it's tame. We don't get them all riled up in there.
Yes.
It's not like wild games. We do have like a dart game that has like sticky or Velcro.
Okay.
We have books. We have little. We have like those magnet things that go together and you
Yes.
build houses or whatever. So everything is geared towards using their brain and being calm, and
So it's a calming experience for the
for
child
them as well. Yes, it's a calm moment in the day, very focused. I'm going to take a sip of water.
Oh, sure. So that's great that they're being calm, like you said. You don't want the parent to come out after having this heavenly experience, and the child is bouncing
Yeah.
off the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when they come out, they do get a balloon. We have Spalila balloons, and every child leaves with a balloon, and they love that. The
So
kids actually
cute.
love to come to Spalila. They ask their parents to bring them there. It's so cute. I love it. Because, in building the spa, I had to think of children as well. Like, the kid's going to have to want to come back here. If they're like, I don't want to
Yes.
go there. I
Yeah,
hate that
please.
place.
Yeah.
Then the mom's not ever going to come. So I'm like, the smells in there had to be okay for kids. The colors had to be okay for kids. Like I have at the time she was 5, now she's 6, but she helped me design this whole thing. Even when we were with
how
the
beautiful
branding
is that?
we were with the branding person, and I'm like, which logo is more appealing to you? And she would point to one. I'd be like, what designs do you like? And I
Yes.
wanted it to be like kid friendly as well, so they like coming there. Like they love coming there, which is great. And they always
Yes.
get a balloon. The smell of our candle is wonderful for an adult and wonderful for a child, which was really hard to do, but we did it. It's beautiful. But when you come in with a child, we use a system called Kids Check, which
Okay.
they also use it like Off Fudge, and a lot of places are starting to use it now. And once you put all your information and your kids' information in Kids Check, you have your own profile. And you just put your phone number in, and it automatically pulls you up. You put what location you're at, and it'll say like Spalila because it's in
Yes.
Spalila. And then you just check them in, and then you check them out. And then our waiver is in there, so you sign a waiver. The children get a little sticker on their back. It says their name, if we can do bathroom help or diaper change, or know
Okay.
if they want us to get them, if photos are okay or not, because sometimes for social media we'll take
Sure.
like pictures, and then they get a buzzer number, and that goes on the child's back, and then a buzzer like the kind you use in a restaurant
Yes.
goes with you into the back. So if we need you, we'll call you. Only if the child's crying for more than 10 minutes and we can't settle them,
Okay.
or you said no to diaper help, then we'll call you if they need a diaper
Right.
change. But usually they never get called. It's happened
Yes.
like a couple times. But
Or they're not answering.
yeah, exactly. We're like, pause. No, but the kids are awesome in there. So then you check your child into Kids Check. Then you have a seat. You're offered a beverage. We do organic tea, organic coffee.
Oh my
we have
goodness.
coconut milk, almond milk, organic half and half. We serve wine, champagne, white wine, and red wine. I'm trying to make this a mom's like experience,
Yes.
like how I'd want it, So you get a beverage, and then you go back and you do your treatment, and we put you in a robe and slippers, so you're getting a full experience, and what else can I say? And the kids totally taken care of, and they're right there in the building with you.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry about them. And a lot of moms, if they were like, I'm going to go get a facial, oh, I have to hire a babysitter. It's 3 hours for the babysitter. That's going to be $20, like $60.
Right. They have to think about the commute and
and then the babysitter, and it's like, forget it. I'm not going to do it. That's what you're thinking, in your head. So if you can actually just go, I'm going to go get a facial, and my child's going to be in the playroom on premises.
Yes.
They're with me if they need me, and there's classes for the kids. So it's like, oh, I'll go while they're doing, baby Beethoven. They can do a little music class while I get my facial.
Yes.
It's like a win-win, and it's no charge for the child. So I don't know why anyone wouldn't come.
Trina, that's incredible. Everyone that's listening, please support Spali Law. Women, mothers, we need this. Dads, you too, you need it. But moms, we really need something like this. And I think it's so incredible that you created a space for women to, we're going to have the guilt, but just a place where it's just a judgment-free zone and a place where we can treat ourselves and our children are cared for as well. I just think it's such a wonderful idea and concept and so needed in the marketplace. I don't think anything like this exists.
It doesn't.
I've never been to a spa you can't even go to some hair salons and bring your child unless they're being serviced.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, or get your nails done. Like we do manicures and pedicures, we do waxing, we do facials, we do massages, we do all that stuff too. But those are, a higher price ticket where I tried to make a lower price ticket so that anybody can come. And I wanted people to come twice a week, not once a month, know. So I tried to make those 30-minute treatments where you could just come in, during the week when you're feeling like you need it, so it would be kind of a lower price point. That was my real focus, because I want it to be able to be done all over the world. Any town could use this. Any town with moms need this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And everything in our place also, we were really focused on making everything as natural as possible. So like the organic free trade, fair trade teas, and the coffee, and all our products. We have our own product lines. So we have 3 product lines: a spa line, a mom's line, and a baby's line, and they're all safe for pregnant women. So I made them as safe as I can get for a pregnant person, because then it's safe for everybody else.
Yes.
So everything's natural, and so you don't have to worry about your child ever touching something. Even we have Ecos products and that we clean with,
Yes.
Our cleaning supplies, the stuff we wash our laundry with, our paint on our wall, it's VOC free. Like everything was thought through.
Oh my goodness.
Well, even the polish that we use there, the nail polish is like 7 free, chemical free something. It's like the best we could find that stays on your nails. So yeah, all that is thought out beforehand. So you can go in there and you don't have to be like, is this okay for babies?
Right.
Is this safe for me? Is that okay?
My child has this, allergy or
Yeah. So we don't allow food in the playroom. So for allergy reasons, they can bring in their water, their milk, but that's it. If they need to eat, they go outside to a table outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's also supervised by the nannies that are on staff. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's inside the building, but it's in the lounge.
Yeah. No, it's like, okay, go out to the parking lot.
Yeah. That table out in the back.
Yeah. No, understood. I wanted to talk too about your product line. You have a product line, Trina Renee, a skincare line.
Yes.
How did that come about, and and finding chemists to work with?
Yes. So this all happened back when the internet. I mean, I feel like that ages me so much, but
I'm with you.
It was like a while ago, maybe like 7-8 years ago, you could start buying all these products online. All these shops started selling maybe 10 years ago. So I was selling a couple product lines, and I would all of a sudden it started happening where they would come in and they would normally buy like all their products from me,
Yes.
and then a client is saying, "Oh, I got it online for half price," and but I was like, what's happening? And so then, I call the product company and I'm like, what's going on? Why is this being sold online for half off? This is taking my business away.
Yes.
And they're like, we're fighting it with the lawyers. This isn't allowed, but we have to find them. And it's hard to find these people that are, I'm just like go on and on.
Yes.
And it was so frustrating that I was like, you know what? This is forcing me to start my own product line, because then they can't buy it online. They have to buy it from me.
Yes.
So how am I going to do that? Because this is what it's forcing us to do now, which is why there's 5 billion product lines out there, because everybody started doing it. All of a sudden, all the estheticians and all the doctors and everybody is going and getting their own product line, because the product lines they used to sell in their offices are now being bought online. So you lose like half of your retail sales.
Oh, I'm sure.
Or more, which is half your business. So everyone started making their own product lines and going to all these labs, and so that's what I did. I joined the Society of Cosmetic Chemistry.
Yes.
There was a class at UCLA that was taught by Rebecca Gadberry. It was a cosmetic chemistry class. People would fly in from all over the world to go to the class, and most of them were like chemists and manufacturers, and a few, like maybe 3, 4, 5 of us estheticians who'd like sit in the front like, what the hell is going on? Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It was so hard, but I would take it every single year, and I'd try and take
Oh, wow.
It was very intense, and I would take it the regular and the advanced, and so the teacher of that group, of that class, owned a lab, and so she was my first person to start helping me with the product lines thing. And then from that, I actually worked with 4 different labs. And so, each chemist does something better than other chemists. They'll give you like a bunch of stuff to look at. Like, here's how I do my generic cleansers, and here's our serums, and like, you want a gel cleanser, or do you want a milky cleanser, or do you want a this cleanser or that cleanser? And then you touch and feel and smell, and then you kind of start tweaking things. But they have like formulations that they've already created that's kind of like their baselines. And so you go in, and there might be a couple things, 2, 3, 4 things that you like from them, but the rest of it's
Got it.
So you go somewhere else for that. I mean, at least I did. I wanted it to sell. And then you have to like try it. You have to develop it, and then you have to, put it on your shelf, and you have to say, okay, do people like it? Are they buying it? If not, you got to change it.
Okay.
And so until you find a winner. And then once you find a winner, okay, that one's selling good. I got a good one. Then you start with something else. And I started with like 2 products, like, I don't know, however many years ago that was, 10. And I've built it up to like, maybe I have 15 products now in the line.
It's incredible.
So when I went to build my mom's line and my baby's line and the spa line for Spa La, I was already working with these labs. So I started with them and was like, what do you got that has nothing bad in it that a mom can use that's pregnant? And what do you have for babies, like safe enough for babies? Like, whatever you have to start testing. And then I started looking for other places that did really natural kind of products from labs that were more natural and organic.
Okay.
That was really hard.
So was that an expensive process for someone that's listening and they're thinking, I'd like to have a product line? Should I take this class?
It is not easy. And I don't recommend that anyone just go and think they can make a product line, because it's not that easy. And a lot of people will put a lot of money into it. Like, I've worked with a couple different doctors that I helped them develop their products.
Okay.
And I told them, like, to start, don't don't develop your very own line. That's way more expensive.
Okay.
Like start with a lab that has already got like pre-made stuff that you can test on the market and you can tweak a little bit. But like to come up with a formulation from scratch, like, okay, we're going to start with water and then we're going to add in a little bit of, to start from that place and build an actual ingredient list is for one product and get it all the way through testing and FDA approval to go on the shelf is about $100,000 for one product.
One product.
Yes. To get it to be, this is my very own. Nobody else could have this formulation. It's secret, like whatever.
And that's not a line. That's one item.
Yeah. And what if that one item doesn't sell? What if you develop that one item and then you spend all this money and then it hits the shelf and nobody's buying it? What do? You just wasted so much money. And people do that all the time. And so I always say, don't start there. First, start with a lab that's already got some stuff in the works.
Okay.
Work with kind of an already developed kind of product and tweak it a little bit and put it out there. It's not your own formulation, but it is, you've tweaked it enough to make it like your own. And you have your own line, see what sells, build a line from there. And once you've sold a certain amount, you're selling 1,000 whatever time frame, you're selling a lot of them, then take that to the lab and say, okay, I want to make this my own and buy the formulation.
Yes.
And then you can mass market it or whatever you want to do, but it's very expensive to do a product line.
Well, I love that. Just going back to something you said, I love that you just got pissed off with your sales being impacted, and instead of just being frustrated, you said, you know what, I'm going to create my own thing. Yeah. I mean, just that mindset.
I'm like, there's got to be a way around this.
I'm not doing this, I give up. This is, this is for someone else. It's just, no, I'm going to create my own thing and create my own lane.
And it's good.
Yes.
I put a lot of effort into that.
I mean, that's powerful. That's such a, again, the mindset to have the wherewithal to just, again, not get so frustrated that it's,
don't give up.
Something. It's create something. Create a solution.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to teach my 6-year-old. Like, you don't give up. You find a way. There's always a way. You just have to find it, So you think which, if this is a no, then how can you get a yes? Or how can you make something, like, don't just give up on things, You have to keep thinking. Think more about how you're going to get around this problem. It's a problem. This product line is now being taken away from you and sold online. So how are we going to get around that problem and still make a profit? So build your own. How do you do that? I don't know. I'm going to figure it out.
And you did. Yeah. You did very successfully. So where is Spalila located? And our patrons, can they book online? Do they call?
We have to have people call because of the children aspect of it. Okay. Because if they book online and we don't know if they have kids or not, and we can only have a certain amount of kids in the playroom at full capacity. So I would hate to have somebody just book online, all these people, and then all of a sudden they come in with their kids and we're like, we're full. And then, so it's like we had to do a thing where you have to call in so we can get how many kids you're bringing, get them booked in the playroom so we know how many kids are in there in the hour so we don't overbook it.
Okay.
Although we are booking facials online. And that's because I've merged Facial Bungalow into Spalila.
Okay.
So I have 3 estheticians at Spalila. So now we are taking the Facial Bungalow facials and I merged it. Now we're doing them at Spalila. So our estheticians are doing all of those treatments and those are able to book online. But that's the only ones that are. And we're in Studio City. So we're right in Tahunga Village by Aroma Cafe, which seems to be a popular cafe.
Yes.
So yeah, we're on an excellent street. The street is so cute. It's like one block of all these little cute shops.
Yes, I know it.
Yeah, it's a very popular street I never knew anything about until this location came to me. And you know, it's really hard to get on that street. It's one block, and it's like the people who have been on that street have owned their businesses for like 18, 25 years.
Yes.
You know, they long time.
Sure.
And my space used to be a spa before us, and the owner was a friend of mine, and she was kind of tired of that, and she had another business she was focusing on.
Okay.
And so she wasn't kind of letting that go. And so I was looking, and it just kind of happened, you know, which was really great timing. And it's beautiful. It's such a nice place. You guys should come. You should come.
Oh, I'm definitely coming. Yeah, and I'm definitely coming, and I want our listeners to support as well. You know, I was thinking about it was something that you said earlier. Just thinking about your career and not just becoming an esthetician, but to take also the next step. And the next step for you and creating your own business. I mean, you could have just decided to work in a spa and that been your career and been happy with that. Why create a business for yourself, a thriving business, a very successful business?
Oh, gosh.
Product line.
That is, you know, I don't know. What's wrong with me? I mean, I thought, I don't know. I thought I was going to just move up to Northern California and be an esthetician in a cute small town up there and just live life a little more simple was kind of my plan. And after this, I mean, before Spalila, and then I also thought about, you know, maybe I'll go be a spa director on an island somewhere at some beautiful spa. Like I've thought about doing that too. Like maybe I don't want to work for myself anymore. Maybe I could work for somebody else and then I could go home at the end of the day and not have to worry about anything and like get a 2-week vacation and like, you know, do somebody else's, to be a spa director. Like that sounds cool too. Like something more simple where I don't have to be the boss, you know. Being the boss, you're just always on. Again, like being a singer of a band, you're always on. Being the boss of a business, you're always on. So, you know, I have thought about settling down my
You've thought about
life.
it.
And then I took on Spotty Law. I'm like, what did I do? But, you know, I think what drew me into that, and I was really on the edge, like when we were getting ready to sign the deal with me and the investors, I was like telling my husband, I could take it or leave it. Like, honestly, like we could move to Northern California. I could be totally happy being an esthetician like 3 days a week and living a simpler life. And like, you know, doing that I'd be totally happy doing that. Or I could go into this and the next 5 years, I'm going to work 7 days a week and it's going to be hell. But when Ella's about 10, we can go on a lot of vacations and we could probably have, you know, a nice life. Like, but it's going to be a lot of hard work and I'm not going to be around that much. Like I can do it, but which way do we go?
Right.
Do we go that way or that way? And, you know, it was a friend of mine who I was having dinner with and she said, you know, my friend opened Sprinkles, that cupcakes shop. She's like, she had that same thing. She had small children and she opened this cupcake shop and she was like, oh, you know, like it's so much of her life. And she's like, but 5 years later, she's opened several stores and like now she's sitting pretty and she's enjoying her life and she's spending time with her kids.
Right.
And she's like, it's 5 years isn't a lot of time. And she's like, Ella's 5, you know. By the time she's 10, when it's really important times to spend with her, you'll be there. And, you know, right now, you'll still be there, but you won't be there as much. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like now's the time to do it. And I was like, oh, God. And so I asked my husband one more time.
So what did your husband
What did
say?
I do? He's like, let's go for it. I was like, you're going to be total dad. You know, you're going to be all-time dad. You're never going to see me. You're going to have to bring Ella to the spa. you know. So they come to the spa and visit me after school, like a couple times a week.
Yes.
He comes in, he drops Ella off in the playroom, he goes back and enjoys a service.
Oh my gosh.
He'll like
Lucky
jump in
husband.
the bath with a glass of wine and like he'll
Yes.
be watching a movie on his iPhone. I'm like, aren't you so lucky? Why don't you go stand at the front desk while I take a bath?
Right.
Or he'll be sitting in the massage throne. He'll be like, hey. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's so hilarious. And, you know, I love that he was supportive. You know, and said, let's do it. Let's go for it.
Yeah, so
Because
he's
he could
the
have said,
total.
well, honey, you know, I want you home, and why don't we move to Northern California?
Oh,
and
he
you just
supports me
take a
so
day
much.
job.
Yeah, no, he supports me so much. Like, he's definitely my other half. Like, he takes care of the house and the dogs and my child, and he runs all the errands, and he's like, and he has a job too. I mean, but he's a DJ, so he works mostly on the weekends at night. So
Okay.
he has the days free, you know, to do all that. But he totally is. He makes me dinner. Like, he takes care of me, so it's good. I'm just tired. I've been working 7 days a week for like a year now, and it's a lot. But I you know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. And it's not a train.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I mean, I think it's wonderful. And I do think that there's something to be said for this being the time because, you know, my children, I think about, you know, with them being 19, 15, and 14 now, they just need you in a different kind of way. I know Lee sitting over there, earlier we were talking about this trip that I'm taking to New York, and he said, your son doesn't want you coming to visit him, you know, in college. He's a junior.
Yeah, totally.
He said, make sure this is the last trip. But
so
they
funny.
do need you in a different way at like at 10, 11, 12. Like this is the time where you can really grind it out, you
Yeah.
know, and just work.
Yeah.
And then they benefit.
Yeah,
you know, from that
and
work.
she loves coming to my spa and like hanging out, and she always says that she's the nanny's helper, so she takes care of all the kids. Like, you know, she feels like she's the owner of the spa. She'll be like, I'm gonna get them some honey sticks. I'm like, no. You are not getting the kids honey sticks. No honey sticks in the playroom. But she's like, you know, always trying to cater. Does anyone need water?
I love that.
Some lady came in. She's like, I'll give her a tour. I'm like, no. Get back in the playroom.
But I love that she's taking ownership because she sees mom doing that, you know?
Yeah, it's super cute.
But it's a great example.
I think, I mean, one thing I want to say to like other moms or other people or people starting or wanting to start a business
Yes.
is like really look at yourself, because this is something I tell estheticians. Like, there's so many different ways you can go in this business. You don't have to be the owner of your own business. Some people just aren't that kind of person. It sounds glamorous, like owning
Yes.
your own business, because you're like, oh, I make all the money and I make all the decisions, and you know, but you end up making less money being an owner of a business than you would being an esthetician just working in a room.
right.
Because there's so many other expenses you're not thinking of. And there's so many other things you have to do, the bills and the inventory
Yes.
and the ordering and the managing and you know, it takes a certain type of brain to be able to do that. So I always try and ask people, like, what type of person are you? Like, are you better working for somebody that can guide you? Are you better
Right.
working on your own? Are you, you know, are you more of somebody who's like a 9-to-5er or a 12-hour a day person?
Right.
Like, you got to really figure out who you are, because even though you want to be the boss, everybody wants their own business and be the boss. It sounds glamorous.
Well, it
everyone
sounds
wants to be the
glamorous,
star
but
or
it's
the rock
more
star
work.
or the, you know, or the actress or whatever. But it's like, you have to look at who you are. Like, are you that person? Like, could you really, I don't know, people got to look at themselves and really assess who they are before they make those kind of decisions. Because so many people lose because they're not, you know. It's hard work.
Right.
You have to be aggressive and you have to be strong and you have to be on your toes all the time. And it takes a lot of, I don't know, I was born that way. My mom said since I was 5, I was like that. She said I ran the house at 5. I was like, oh, God, poor me.
Yeah.
Poor my parents.
You know, my mom calls me Missy. She said, she said, since the time you were born, you've always been grown, you know, or trying to be grown, you know. And I do think that I agree with you that you need to take some sort of assessment and
Yeah.
figure out, if you're made to be a boss. And
Yeah.
it's okay to work for someone.
It
And
totally is.
That's
Sometimes it's easy. I mean, it is easier.
it's easier.
It's easier.
It's easier unless you have the mindset of a boss and the chutzpah, then you can't. It's very difficult to work for someone.
And when that's the case.
Yes.
Because you can't control yourself in that kind of situation where you work for somebody else and somebody's telling you what to do. It just doesn't work for you. So you find yourself never being able to be in that situation.
So true. Listen, I know far too well.
Yeah.
So how can people get in contact with you? And I'd love to know about, any social media platforms and how do they find Spali Live? We know it's in Studio City and they need to call. So is there a phone number?
Yes. You want me to say it?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's 747.
Let me write it down myself. 747.
227 4338.
Repeat that.
747 227 4338.
And so it's appointment only, right? No walk-ins.
You can walk in. We
Oh,
have
there are
we have
walk-ins.
people walk in every day, and they'll just stroll in with their stroller and be like, "What do you have available?" They don't care. Or they'll say, "Do you have a manicure available?" But a lot
Sure.
of moms who have been there before will be like, "What do you have available right now?" And you're like, "Okay." Or they'll call from the park down the street and be like, "What can I come there for right now? I'm on my way."
Yes.
We have a mom and a dad that come in with their kid on the weekends. They're so cute.
That's
And it's
so
like their
nice.
little 30-minute treat to themselves. And he'll go back and get the massage throne, which is this chair that puts you in
Yes.
zero gravity and does like a 3-dimensional
Oh, my goodness,
futuristic,
Trina.
like robotic massage. It's really cool. And he'll get that, and she'll go in the quiet room, and she'll put her little blanket on, and she'll have her tea, and she'll read her book that she never gets to read. And
Yes.
we'll watch their kid for 30 minutes, and then they're like, "Thank you," and they go on with their day. It's so cute. I'm like, so many more parents should do this. It's like such a great little minute in your afternoon. You know?
Yes.
It's super cool.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yes. We have people who buy series and they come like a couple times a week.
Continuously.
Oh, you want to live there?
Lee's
So
ready
many
for it.
people do.
He's ready for a vacation.
Oh, okay. You want a 6-week vacation inside Spali Law? You'll just go hop from room to room.
I'm gonna do it all.
That's awesome.
Oh, my goodness. It's been so lovely having you here. Are you on social media?
Yes. So we're on Facebook under Spali Law.
Okay.
It's SPA, second word LE, third word LA. So it's 3 separate words. And then, so we're on Facebook and we're on Instagram and we're on Pinterest, I think, too.
Very nice.
So-
and Instagram is also Spali Law.
I guess so. I'm really bad at that part. Yes.
People can find you, though.
Yes, it's Spali Law on Instagram.
Okay. Wonderful.
And we also have Facial Bungalow on Facebook. And our website is facialbungalow.com. And our other one is spalilaw.com.
Okay.
So SPALELA.com. So you can see our websites. What else? We're on Yelp. Like my face. No, please Yelp us if you like us. Yeah, that's all the places we are currently at. And then we're working with different, what are they called? Influencers.
Sure.
So we have some mommy influencers that are out there that love us, that are working with us too. We're filming with what's her name? Kristen Kuzmic.
Okay.
She's like a big internet person.
One of those.
Yeah, she does a lot of video
sensations.
blogging, like millions of followers, and she's coming in to do a new pilot in our spa tomorrow, which is cool.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
Okay.
I want to thank Trina Renee for being in studio with us. She has been so delightful. Make sure that you call and make a reservation for Spali Law in Studio City, and have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. So nice of you.